central Europe and you set the time CET, then it will tell the detail. If no user is there, then it will not show you. Okay, likewise, you can set here the parameters and find the value. Similarly, in the role, in case if you want to see a specific transaction or the role or profile assigned to a user, so you can set it here. So if you want to see like list of all the users who have SE01 access, right? So you can keep here SE01, and if you run it, it will show you the list of users who have SE01 access. These are the list of users are there, correct? Similarly, if you want to see like the users who have been assigned with a specific role, so if you keep the role name, for example, any zero taking or any role, it's up to you. So all the users who have been assigned with a specific zeros, if you say in generic, so it will tell you. These many 163 users are there who have been assigned with any specific zeros. Okay. All right. Understood again? Any question? Right. Similarly, whatever we have done here is by complex selection criteria. All these options are here. User by user ID, you can see these many options are there. So all the options are included into the complex selection criteria. Like here also. And specific information are there. Similarly, role. So in the role, the same thing you can find in the role complex selection criteria. If you have the complex selection criteria you understood, then all the other things will be already understood in that. Okay. So in that, so suppose if you keep the Z star here as a user, and then all the users of the roles are each start with the Z star, and then here you want to see the users with whether it is assigned to the user or not, all the list of roles you want, where SE01 is there. Okay, so you can see SE01 in case if you want to say SE01 and PFCG, both the transaction assigned to the role. So then you can say run. Then it will show you all the users, all the rows, sorry, that PFCG and SE01 together. If you open any of the row, you can see that this role will have SE01 and PFCG. So SE01 is also there and PFCG is also there in this role. Correct? Right. Any question by anyone till here? Similarly, in case if you want to see some authorization object as well. So if you say like if a user have a step with this object, and then you can see the user also have here SE01, user also have PFCG along with this. So all the three combination if any role is having. So if you run that role, you only one role have which has SE01, which has PFCG as well as this authorization object as underscore TABU this. This is for the table level restriction, right? If you want to say who has 03 value for display value, then also you can keep the display value also. So value wise also you can search. All right. So these are some ideas are there. Then here also some idea. In case if you say if these many access is there, is that this role is assigned to any user. So if you want to see his basic user, then you can keep this basic user. If you want to keep the starness, any of the user it will check. Okay, with valid assignment for any of the users. But if you use this one, it will also tell you the list of assignment. So just run it. But here you can see these are the three users are there who have been assigned with this role, which has PSC and S. So likewise, it will show you the list of the roles also. Okay, understood area? Any question? All right. So here also, whatever you have, that is linked here with these options. So if you learn complex selection criteria, it will tell you everything is included in it, right? So these are some separate options. That is beside of this. So here search the single role with authorization data. So here if you run, then here it will tell you in a specific role what authorization object is there, what value. If you want to see specific value as well, you can see it from here. For example, if you say any of the role which will be active or inactive in the authorization or any value if you want to see and run it, then you can see also this. So these are the roles are there which have this authorization object. What is the activity? What is the status of whether it is a standard, manual, or you only changed it? So this you can also find from here. Right now, any question by anyone till here? About anything from you, Kavya? Then search the role in the role menu. So in that role menu, you can see like if any role is there with this role, then you can check it from here, Z star, and any transaction if you want to look for that. So you can keep here the transaction even if you don't want to have a transaction, any web link or web address if you want to see. So these many object you can see if any role have the web address. So you can see this role is there, which will have some application name here and WBC web address is there. So likewise, you can see some inputs from the system. Okay, or any transaction if you want to see, you can see the transaction as well. Okay, all right. So search for here some transactions if you want to search in the menu if any role have. Oh, now it is searching for all the roles. Would take some time. Action. See application here. application for us, especially the transaction is one application, but not only the transaction is there in the menu. Can, if you have any web address added or any report is added, those also we can see that. Not, but from ECC perspective, 90% of the application is nothing but your transactions only. Let me stop this transaction. It will take a lot of time. Again, we can go to SUIM. So if you go to the role and search the start level application in the role. So VA01, just an example, and I keep here Z star. So it will be reducing that search, right? So these many roles are there, which will be having a, you can say SPA01 transaction in it, right? And you can see here the profile status is not there with this role, but because it is a composite role, but for this role, it is a profile status is there because it's a single role, right? Let's see here. Because for composite role, we are not creating any profile, correct? Huh? Okay, so these many options are there. Similarly, we have the option for profile as well. Normally, we are not creating any profile. That is like an old concept, but still, if you want to see a specific profile, for example, SAP underscore all, who created when it is created, when it's last change. So you can see that inputs here also. So this is active. This is activated on 27/6/2023. PDIC is the user made these changes. So likewise, you can see some changes related to the profile. Not very important aspect for this. Okay, authorization is also not very useful. But if you want to see that authorization object, a specific authorization object, for example, S underscore TABU DIS, and see, want to see like this object related inputs, what is the text of that, what is the active version. So it will tell you the number of fields in it. So active version in it. So this object is there in this SAP all profile, this profile, and these are your role profiles as well. So it will show you the data where all this exists. This object is in this profile as well. Likewise, you can see these inputs. Not much useful. The other useful important one is the transaction one. So from here, if you see executable transactions. So if you run here, you can see all the list of users who have the specific transactions. List of roles which have the specific transaction. List of profile who have the specific authorization. So here or maybe any specific role if you take, then it will tell you like which transaction it has. So maybe here I just take any role. For example, this role. If any transaction is there, so it will tell you with this transaction, if any transaction code you can execute. Okay, this user doesn't have this. Maybe I will take D10 PM. Okay, this is the user. User wise you can search. So this user can execute these many transactions, ME21N, this and this has a different error log. So he can run these transactions, right? Similarly for the role also we can search. For example, the sales manager role. If you run, then you can see this will have these many transactions. Correct? That is also okay, everyone. Any question till here? All right. So this is also one options what we have here. So then we have an option for executable. It's the same option is individual. Only for user, you cannot select role and other one. So as if you learn this, the first one, then you learn automatically the rest of them. Then here are some log transactions. So basis the person can log some of the transactions. So here if you want to see some of the logged transaction here, so it will show you the list of logged transactions. The basis will have the ability to do, for example, XQ11 SAP query. This is logged by the administrator, system administrator. So if you want to see the list of block transaction, you can see it from here. Then we have here for comparison. So comparison, so here you can see. Okay. So if you want to compare two users, whether it has a same role or not. So if I take one more different user, so system will tell you after comparing whether both have the same access or not. So if I take this user with comparing with Atik ID, so here you can see the Atik is in that and then this VM is in this. Means this is the 10 PM have access of this, this, and this, but Atik doesn't have it. So here, let's see somewhere common is there. So here, this is the common one. So both user had this authorization object, but the value is different. So if you compare here the value, here the star is there, but if you see this value, here 0, 1 and a star is there for this object. So likewise you can see here, these both have the same object, but here yellow is there. Yellow is one user will have different value with another, right? So if green is there, then fine. If yellow is there, for example, here green is there, means both the user have the same object and same values also. So if you see here, this also have this blank value and this other also have the blank value for this object. X, sorry. It also have the X, it also have the X. Right? So likewise, you can compare two users whether they have the correct same access or not. Okay, that is about this option. Similarly, you can compare two roles. So if you want to say, see one role is there where you created some access and another role is there that where you want to compare two roles. So that way you can also do, for example, this role and maybe this role. So you can compare both of the roles whether the same or not. Same way. So you can say, so only here this role has these many objects, but this role doesn't have these many objects. But here this role, SAP FNP user have this object, but this role doesn't have this object. So likewise, you can compare this also. So here you can say it is same. So this is same in both the object wise, but the value is different. Okay, so this is we can find from the role perspective and also the profile perspective also. Okay, that way we can compare as well. Then we have something like a where used list. So where used list is also useful sometimes. So in the role, means you want to see the specific role is there in which users. Suppose I take this or this role. This is there used in which users. So if you keep here, the role limit will show which all users this role is been assigned. So this role is assigned to these many users. Right? Understood idea? Similarly, if you keep this role, this will tell you this role is assigned to how many users. So only this user. Right? So that is the idea. Similarly, for profile, if you want to see this profile is assigned to which users. So if you say SAP or SAP underscore all profile, then system will tell you which all users are there where this profile is being assigned. These are the list of users. Okay. Then in role also. So specific profile associated with which role, that also we can find. Let's see what is there in the job listed. User and security outlook filter. These are some new reports are there. So if you select here, filter is set. Okay. Then this is important one, change document, because this is especially used for audit perspective. So in case if you want to know uh, which who changed the users. So like if you keep this user and then you want to see from some previous date, current date, who changed the this user. So maybe I'll take this date maybe, and then if you click on here, you have to click like a user creation, deletion, or user type change. So likewise, the options you just select, and if you run, system will show you the message. So like this user, Z10 PM has been created on 2nd of April, and then these many changes has been done. Like a user created by this user, initial user type is service. So this will change you, give you the change history. Similarly, it will give you the change history for user group, if any assigned validity group, all the options you can see. The global ID, user attribute, license data if somebody changed, the password if somebody changed. Then also you can check here the role. So is that anybody assigned any role to this user, right? So if you run it, then system will show you the detail about the role assignment also. So on this date, this time, this role is being added to this user. This role is also added to this user, right? So likewise, it will give you the change history. So tomorrow, if somebody say, okay, I have not assigned this user this role, so system will capture it. You can't say false statements. Okay, people will check it from here, and they will say that okay, no, that is not true. Similarly, for role assignment, so if you want to see this user whom the role is assigned, you can check it from here. For role, if anybody change in the role itself, so that also you can see from here. For example, this role is there. So if you want to see who has changed this role from this date to this date. So if somebody say, okay, I have not added any transaction in this role, somebody else added. So you can check it from this date to another date, created date or deleted. If anybody delete the role by intention, by mistake, if anybody changed the role description, if anybody added the single role in the composite role, anybody added the transaction in the role menu, all the one you can check it from here. Okay. You can see here this role attribute is being changed, and here authorization data has been changed. So you can see some of the tables where the data has been set and changed. So you change the role, but it is changing your role from these created and deleted role. So it will give you the history actually. But if you are specific when it is created, when it is deleted, so you just run this create and delete role. So it will tell you when the role is created. If it is deleted, it will also tell you deleted. So action is new role is created. Single role in composite role. If any role has been added to the composite role, then it will tell you is if it is done. So if this role is not assigned to any composite role, it will not show you the data. If you want to see the transaction in the menu role menu, so it will tell you which transaction is added by whom, when, and maybe you can try another role as well. And for this also, from till this date, nothing has been added. Nothing been added here. Other object in the role menu, we can say this object has been added. Some other object that is related to Fury actually. Variant in the role menu, authorization data. If anybody changed the organization value, like in master derived role, right? So any question, just want to make a pause here. Anyone, any question? So here you can see for this user, somebody changed this VKORG means organization value star. Okay, is added. Somebody if added specific value, then you can see specific value. Likewise, you can see that who has changed that or added that. Value changed at C11. That is value changed from this old value. This is the new value. That also it will capture. Right? So these are role assignment to the user composite role. These are some attributes are there that we can use here. Right? Understood everyone till here? Any question? Okay. SUIM. Okay, so see, then we'll be going to our next topic, which is like central user administration. So see, the idea, just understand everyone, means it is anyhow like not many people are using, but still let's understand what is CUA. CUA is like a central user administration. So in this CUA, what we do, in the CUA, we'll be having one central system, and suppose you have the ECC system like SAP system, EW system, and CRM system. So these three systems connected with your central system. So what will happen? It will be an advantage if anybody is using CUA system. So if you are using CUA system by which you are able to connect these many systems, if you create a ID here, all the ID automatically gets created into the connected system. So that is the purpose of it. If you assign any role, it will be getting assigned to the specific system. That way you can do. So all the user admin, if you want to delete a user from all the system, you can directly delete from here. You don't have to log into this end user systems. So that is the advantage for using the CUA. As it will give you the better control to control the security for all the connected systems with central system. That is the main advantage of the CUA. Okay, so in that, like what we do, we have to have one central system which is connected with the other connected systems, and once it's connected, we can utilize this for the purpose of utilizing it to manage the users, assigning the role, providing locking, unlocking from central system. So in that, once you have the connection, see, And if you run SU01 in CUA system, so there is small changes there in the screen. So once you establish like a CUA system and then run SU01 in that system, in this CUA system, then you can get one tab, which is like nothing but a system. So in that, what will happen? If you want to create a user in the system, the connected system one, the connected child system second, third. So you can add the system one, system two, or system three, by which you are able to create this test ID in all the three system or two system. As soon as you save, it is automatically gets catered to these two systems. System one and system two, you can see DEVCLNT 100, DEVCLNT 200. So that way is the advantage for any user, right? So in that, any question, anybody? So so that will save a lot of time for the security because they doesn't have to log into these many systems. They will create an ID there. This will automatically get created in respective systems where they need, where we add the systems like system ECC, system BW, system CRM. Then it automatically gets created there, which will be saving a lot of money for the end user or the administrator to get created into the system and assigning the access. Then then here some of the basic changes you can set like SUCM. So Scrum is one transaction which is especially used uh, for uh, for making a parameter settings. Like what are the things you want to control from central system. So if you say here, if you say all the things from global central system, but for initial password, if you say it is from and everywhere. So what that means of everywhere means you can set the initial password for the users from central system and also from the local system. So if a user, suppose he is asking, okay, please give me the password from for ECC. I log myself in ECC. So what you can do, you can from central system also you can unlock the user, or you can unlock the user from ECC itself. Okay, so that is the advantage for that. All right. So here we can set the parameter in central system by running SUCM, Scrum transaction. Then we also have one more transaction that we call as skull transaction. So SCUL transaction is in case if you want to provide access to the user and then the user is not able to get the access to the connected child system. He is saying that okay, my ID is not gets created, I'm not able to log in. So for the troubleshooting of the central system, why it is not happening, we have SQL transaction, SCUL. So this SQL transaction will can give you the head like what would be the error. So if suppose this user complaining CDDLK01 that okay the user is not able to log in this basic system, then you can keep his ID. And if you run this report, then system will give you this kind of output similar to that. So in this output, what we can check whether the user has the correct. So here you can see this user is gets created to this system, one system, like in this system because it's green. But here for this system, USC LT 000, you it is red. Error is there. What this error is, you can observe the user group Sweden does not exist. So what happened? In the central system, the administrator added this user group Sweden for this user, and this user got the Sweden user group in this system, but in this system, Sweden user group doesn't exist. So what happened? Like a central system tried to create a user and try to assign Sweden user group, but since the Sweden user group doesn't exist in the system, this system it is getting failed. So how to resolve that? That means either we have to create a user group Sweden in the in this child system also, and then we try to run it again, then the user gets created. Okay, so this could be the error. That way we can resolve the error in central system. Okay, then we'll be coming to the HR security. So this is just a overview for you everyone. So we till now we have learned that like how we can do the or configure the security for SAP security. But the point here, how we can configure the security for HR security. So see, HR system is something different compared to your ECC security. So in ECC, what we do, in order to provide any access to the user, we provide the access to the user with the help of transaction code. But in the case of HR security, we'll be using the transaction plus HR objects, which is responsible for the info type, which is responsible to provide the access to the user for specific HR information. So here one important concept is there, which is info types. So if you see the info type like 008 means basic pay, 006 means address, 001 means position. So in the HR system, the people have the different type of information as a HR information. So if you log in to the system and then if you run PA30 transaction, for example, which is like to display or to create HR records. So if any user join in an organization and then if you're using the SAP HR system, so using the SAP HR system, you are able to create the user's records. Okay. So suppose, let's see if any user is there. Oh, no value found. It doesn't have any user at all. Okay. PA40 is one transaction by which you can hire the employee. But for this, actually, we have this employee group, employee subgroup. So this master data is required to be created to the system. Let's see if we can hire an employee. Then good, actually. Person number has been system generated. We want to keep. Let's keep the hiring date today. The personal area. At least one if we get. Okay, very good. We have something. Positions also, let's see. Oh, no, don't have any positions. Ah, let's try. Active employee. This is certificate active. Activation. Anyhow, meanwhile, any question? Oman, anything from you? Akshay, anything? All okay? Yeah, yeah, Akshay. Yeah. See, the global means you can do the password reset from central system. That is global. So means from central system you can able to reset the password for connected any of the system. Okay. So means if you reset the password in the global, it will reset to all the system or any specific system also you can check. But if you use the anywhere, means suppose the user is logged in the child system one, for example, take example, right? And then he's saying that, okay, please unlock my ID. So one option is also like you just log into that child system and unlock there itself. So means you can unlock the user from child system, and also you can unlock the user from central system, which is a global system. So everywhere means that. Okay, correct. Restricted to only to that particular system. Suppose you instead of the global, you can go with the local. The meaning for the local, you can do the password reset from that system only. Okay, right? Good. Okay, so here like we have to maintain some address for and then like some title and the date of birth something. So this is like a hiring thing, how we can hire the employee, which state he is been hired, what is the gender for this person, right? What is the first name and what is the name in English, right? So when release them, so then we can say this nationality. Okay, so then percentage, what is the contract type, and then what is the positions we have. So 100% billable. So that is coming as a 100%. Then if any positions is there, then fine. And then is percentage. Percentage, you can say 100%. Combination percentage sub area. Percentage sub area, okay. Some technical errors, so that's fine. Permanent address, then employee percentage, time record is how much the working time that we can set. What is the salary for that? What is the allowance? Save it. Yes, true. Okay, so likewise we can have this input type. So you can see here for this employee number one, we have these actions are there, personal data and address is there. So these data isn't maintained. So the point here, how we can control the security in the HR application. So so this can be controlled with the help of this way. So suppose you want to create a role in HR, so we go to the PSCG, the role creation process is the same in HR also. So employee self-service role, suppose you want to create. Means this role is for providing access to the user so that he can maintain uh, like some of the things for himself. Some of the things means like personal detail. Suppose the personal detail maybe initially he will be unmarried and then he will be want to marry and then after marriage his status got changed unmarried to the married, right? So we want that this kind of input similar to the address. So today he's staying in one address and tomorrow he'll be staying into another address. So those address we want to give authority that the person can change by themselves, right? So if this kind of authority we want to give, but we don't want to give the authority that person can change the salary by himself, right? Nobody can want to give that. No company want to give that, right? So this could be happen with the help of HR security. So if we are creating a role for employee self-service and we say that people can able to change his own address data, maybe the personal data and other data also, whichever we feel is required. So the person will have the access of PA30 transaction and then within a PA30 transaction is say she go for the change and go for yes, then we can give some value like full authorization. Then here you can say in HR like some objects are coming. So the important object is P origin. So P origin object, what it will say, what value you want to give. So if we say user will have the read access and the write access for which info type. What that means of info type here? The info type is the logical information stored to the specific info type. So if you see here, the leave entitlement, challenge, the address. Take example like address. So we want that people is able to change the address. So what he will do, he will run the PA30 transaction and then he is able to change the address. But what he cannot change, even he can allow, he can add his own bank account number by himself. Right? This kind of ability we want to give so that he can get the salary in a specific bank and bank account number where he want. Right? But you don't want to give him that he can change his own salary, right? So we don't mark a check mark and you can say okay, and okay, and the rest of the thing you can say star, that is okay. And this has a clear but we never give to anybody, so we can minus it. Then we generate the role. So this role, if we assign to anybody, what he can do, he can able to change his address data and bank account data, bank account number, right? So this is how we can give the access to the user for this. Understood, everyone? Any question here? Okay, so that is the idea. So we can give the access to the user, for example, PA30 for changing the address, but we give also the access of PA20. So PA20 transaction, see what is the purpose of the PA20? PA20 will give only the display access. So though we not give him the access to the employee that he can change his own salary, but still we want to give the access to the user so that he can display his own salary, right? So, so that is the purpose of PA20. Then what we do actually, give the same role if you want to give to the user so that people can change their own address, their personal data. But he can also see their salary, not change, but see their salary. So we go with the PA20. So PA20 transaction to view it with the data. Then if you say okay, then you can say one more authorization object, P origin, one more extra entry or One addition will be there in the P and P origin, and here you can say read option is there. So which info type you want to give to the access for reading, which is nothing but like for example 0008 basic pay. So you can see is basic pay also information. What is his basic pay? And then you give rest of them a star. And if you generate the row, any some values are there. So we just here and generate. So the user is able to view the salary, but he is also able to change the like personal address and also the bank details. And this way we can create a role and assign to the user. So in that any question by anyone? Now is okay. Let's share one any question. Okay. So that's the thing for us, like for this course actually. So any question by anyone or any topic, like uh, anything you want to have.